na Paaralang Ateneo de Manila na maging panauhing tagapagsalita sa kaunang pagtatapos taong 2007, si Dr. Antonio Miguel L. Dans.
Thank you, Mr. Lucena, sa iyong pagpakilala. Parang hindi ko rin nakilala yung sarili ko sa mga sinabi mo. Father Lizon, revered faculty, officers of the administration and staff, graduates of class 2007, parents, relatives, and friends, good evening. I would like to start by asking the class of 2007 to stand up and take a small oath for me this evening. Please stand up. And raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name. Would like to greet everyone a happy April Fool's Day. Thank you. Pasensyahan niyo na ako. Ika-anim akong magsasalita sa inyo ngayong gabi. At alam kong inaantok na kayong lahat. So, konting pang pagising lang. Sana huwag kayong bumawi paglabas natin mamaya. Lugi ako. Where's 4C? 4C. There. My favorite class. Kasi they're the only ones who know me. I'd like to start my talk by telling you a little about myself and showing you why it might be ironic that I was invited tonight to speak to the graduating class. I graduated from Ateneo High School in 1975. In my batch, there were 6 sections spelling the word wisdom, and I was in a class called 4I. My class was really notorious. I know, for example, that 7 years after graduation, the prefect of discipline was still talking about us to students we never met. As early as first year, our entire class was posted for a chalk war during recess. Walang computer games nung araw, so we had to use our imagination to play. Chalk was amazing. If you cut it to the right size and hurl it with sufficient force, it will explode and leave marks on your hapless victims. Now, one day, during a full-scale gang war, the teacher next door walked by to see what the noise was all about. I can still remember it in slow motion. A classmate hurled, another one ducked, and the piece of chalk hit him right in the middle of the forehead, and it exploded. Suddenly, it was over, and we were all convicted for war crimes. There was no trial. Our whole class was posted, and from then on, we became known as the dishonors class. I had my own share of problems as an individual. When I was third year high school, I was called to the principal's office in the middle of class. On the way to the office, I wasn't afraid. Father Richard Miller was our principal then, and he was one of the gentlest priests I knew. I gingerly opened the door to his office and then froze in my tracks. My parents were there. Between them was a huge pile of fake letters excusing me from going to school for health reasons. I confessed right there and then and expected to be expelled. But for some reason, the school decided to be lenient on me, and my sentence was commuted to several hours post, 6 months probation, and no allowance. Yun yung masakit. Now that I recall this, I realized that I was really lucky. I was never able to say this before, but I say it now. I would like to thank the school for its leniency in handling my case. and several others that I have. You know, what you do in high school will haunt you forever. I thought I had outlived my high school mistakes when I became a doctor. But several years ago, by the strangest coincidence, Father Miller, our principal, became hospital priest at the Philippine General Hospital. In his first few weeks there, he met Dr. Roji Tanco, who is one of our parents here tonight, walking in the corridor. Roji is 2 years ahead of me. We're about the same height, but he is not as good looking. Sorry, Roji. When Father Miller saw him, Father Miller said, "TonyDans, right?" And Roji immediately raised his 2 hands and vehemently denied it. "Father, hindi ako yun. Si Roji po ako." Needless to say, they had a good laugh at my expense. Roji has been very kind to needle me in public many times for this. I begin to understand. This may be one reason they invited me here today. Maybe they thought I was Roji. Because I'm sure if my records still existed, the administration would have had second thoughts inviting me here tonight. But not to worry, you still have some time to regret this. Before I totally lose my credibility, let me get on with my talk. For tonight, I was choosing between one, saying something so inspiring it would change your entire life, or two, telling you more pointless stories of high school days. I decided to do the latter. Init eh, di ba? To give you an idea about my class, or I did a survey of my classmates last week, by email or by text messages. I had a good response rate. There were 37 of us when we graduated in 1975. Of the 35 still alive, 30 still keep in touch regularly. We used to see each other at weddings, where everyone became best man for someone else. Then it became baptisms. Ninong na naman lahat. More recently, we've been seeing each other at funerals. That's the flow of age. But we have so many reunions up to now that you can't really call them reunions anymore. And in my survey, imagine I received 24 responses from 30 classmates. A whopping 80% after 32 years